Hey there, welcome to today's practice. We are going for all the energy today. There's been quite a few slow flow yin practices that I have shared with you. Well, today is something a little bit different. We are combining yoga and HIIT, so yoga shred, for a little bit of gains, but low impact on the joints due to incorporating it into a bit of a yoga flow. I'm going to go for a little bit of around the world effort as well, so coordination and energy all in one hit. Let's move. We are going to start at the top of the mat just with a little bit of a shakeout so we can find our foundation and our breath rhythm as well for this cheeky little sun salutation. So breathing through into the belly and then exhale, hug and lift all the way from the pelvis through to the core, waving long through the spine. Soften the knees, inhale, reach, exhale, fold it forwards. Inhale to halfway lift, so lift the belly, wave the spine long, fingertips come nice and high. Exhale, lower it down, plant the palms, step it back into a nice soft downward facing dog. So again, find your foundation, a little bit of softness before we move forwards. Shake the head out, a little bit of bounce through the knees, finding some plank waves. And on the exhale, rise up and over. Soften the knees, come back through, downward facing dog. Just working with that breath rhythm so that we can engage those core muscle groups closest to the spine, generating that warmth from the inside out. This time as you come up and over, extend out into a connected plank, okay? Drop the knees, keep the belly lifted, keep the head lifted. Soften the elbows a little bit and just float here for a breath before releasing pelvis first all the way down. Create some space in the hips, maybe rock from side to side. Inhale. As you exhale, rise up into your cobra wave. Take a breath here and release down. Tuck the toes, draw the elbows in, lift back through the knees to come up into your downward facing dog. Soften as you breathe in, taking the right leg to the sky, bend at the knee, open out the hip, maybe the gaze comes underneath the armpit. Maybe you're drawing that heel a little bit closer to the mat. Doesn't matter if it's not. And then you're going to sweep that right knee in and round. And then lift as high as you can into center before stepping it forwards towards the front of your mat. Inhale, lift the belly, wave the spine long, just like in our halfway lift. Soften the back knee for balance. And rise up into our high lunge. From here, we're going to turn it out to the long side of the mat and just come into a ninja lunge. So we're traveling round the mat, remember? And a little bit of foundation through to form. So into a temple, toes towards the corners of the mat. Inhale, reaching in and up. Exhale, fist to the hips, fist of fire. And 2 and 3. From here, you're going to turn that front foot forwards or towards the back of your mat now. Cartwheel the arms up and over, planting down, step it back, downward facing dog. And again from here, soften and lifting up and over, finding those plank waves. This time, taking the left leg up to the sky, bend at the knee, open the hip. Just as you did before, sweep that left knee in and round. Lift into center and hold and step the foot forwards. I'm going to rock backwards and forwards here a little bit. I'm going to take a little bit of a spring hop just to introduce a little bit of warmth. So just a lot of softness, and then as you exhale, use that kind of energy and that force. We're going to do 2 more. So 1 and 2, and then turn it around to the long side of your mat. Finding your ninja lunges before coming into this temple shape and sending the sit bones back, so knees behind toes. Inhale, reach, exhale, fist of fire. 1 more. And then turn that front foot forwards, pivot on the ball of that back foot to come through here. We're going to soften and we're just going to step it forward into this modified chair And then squeeze, drawing the fists to the hips here. Now we are ready for our shreds. We're going to start with 4 chair squeezes, okay, or chair raises. It's going to be a repetition of movement, 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off. It's going to look a little bit like this. So this modified chair stance, so knees about hip distance, sending the sit bones back, arms out in front of you, squeeze and draw the fists to the hips like this. And if you feel comfortable, come up onto the balls of the feet. Okay, so let's get going and just find your rhythm with it. With any of the movements that we do, just make sure you find your form first. And then when you get comfortable with it, you can speed it up a little bit as you would like, depending on how you're feeling today. 2, 1, and release. Take your 10 seconds rest. Feels quite good now. Feels a little bit like last time once we get going. So set yourself up. And if you've got your form, you're not toppling forwards, you can pick it up just a little bit. And 3, 2, 1, and release. You could also maybe put some music on in the background to liven up your surroundings. I can't really do that here. And set yourself up for round 3. Okay, keep it moving. Use that exhale to your advantage. Just kind of blowing it out on the exertion of the movement. And 3, 2, 1, and release. Sticking to that 20 seconds as best I can. Don't have my timer on me today. And you can just have a shake out, maybe lift the feet and circle the ankles out if you feel like they're taking a little bit of a hit right now. Okay, ready? You can see I picked up my speed a little bit, although I've got to maintain the movement and speak to you, so you go at your own pace. And 3, 2, 1, and release. Okay, we're stepping it to the front of our mat now, and just take and enjoy that ninja lunge movement, bending one knee and then the other. Maybe with that chair movement, you want to release the shoulders. We're going to set ourselves up for temple fist of fire. This is what it's going to look like. You're going to reach, lengthen out the legs any amount. Exhale, fist to the hips, keeping the sit bones coming back. Okay, so it's going to look like this. And really get some power in that movement. So 3, 2, 1. I'm going to do 4 more rounds like this. Working into the hips and into the core a lot today before we do a little bit of an all-rounder at the end. Hope you like the energy high. But just remember, 3, 2, 1. Back it off, release with a little bit of a 10-second ninja lunge if you would like. Just remember that if you need to dial it back, if you find yourself losing your form, then step it back, step back the speed. Come back to your form first. Off you go, second round. Should be feeling nice and warm now, hopefully. And 3, 2, 1, and release. 2 more rounds to go. And that'll have us 8 rounds in. We have another 8 rounds to go with some movement in between. So let's set ourselves up and off you go. So we should hopefully have our form and our movement and our speed and our focus on achieving all of that glorious energy from the inside out, which is what we want. We want to build some heat. Maybe you can use it for a little bit of productivity or just a bit boost, or sometimes it helps just kind of settle the mood a little bit too. And 1, and release. Get those endorphins going. Okay, get ready for the last round here. This is the first high energy practice that I have filmed and kind of practiced since I was knocked out by whatever virus 4 weeks ago. So it's definitely challenging for me. And 3, 2, 1. And release, but actually really good. Serves as a reminder that I'm now ready to introduce it back into my own practice. Turn this left foot towards what is the back of my mat, so wherever you are is all good, but we're working with the left side. We're just going to take a mini moment to transition into a warrior 2 to see how those hips are doing and warming up through before we cartwheel the arms up and over. Pivot on the ball of that back foot. And from here, stepping it back into that downward facing dog. Maybe you pedal out the feet, maybe not. Soften the knees, rise up and over. Exhale, release. Tap the knees down, untuck the toes, soften, and lower down. Inhale, exhale to rise through into that cobra wave. And lift, coming back up through downward facing dog. Take the right leg to the sky, sweep that left knee in and round, lift and step it forwards. Coming back to those spring steps again. Are you ready? And 1, 2, 3, this time going for 4, 4. Weave along through the spine, soften that back knee, rising up. This time, turning through to the other side of your mat. I, however, am going to hop it round so that you can see me. So we're going to start in this temple shape just like we did last time, but we're going temple to chair. So this first round we're going to step into chair, back into temple, to chair, to temple, traveling from one side of the mat to the other. For the final 3 rounds in this movement, you might choose to stick with that, or you can then hop between chair and temple like this, always landing with knees bent so that we're not locking out the joints and creating that high impact element. But this first round, we're going to all step it together. So 3, 2, 1, arms wide, bring them together with the chair. Open, together. It helps to bring a little bit of rhythm. Open, together, open, together. There we go. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And those hips are definitely getting warmer. There's a lot going on there. Enjoy it. Set yourself up for round 2. So I'm going to do hops. So if you're with me, you're with me. And hop into chair, open to temple. Just be mindful of the feet, turning out slightly as you come into temple and coming a little more parallel when you hop into your chair. And keep the hops nice and steady. They don't have to be super fast. You can get fast over the next 2 rounds. 3, 2, 1. Or if that was a lot, you can come back to step open step. Okay, ready to go for round 3. And wherever you are, stepping or hopping, just check in on your form over speed. Every time you want to feel like you're exerting yourself, should definitely feel challenging. And if this is quite new for you, then it's okay to just see how the rounds take you. 3, 2, 1. So if you need to take a break, take a break. Otherwise, enjoy those 10 seconds in between, because this one definitely gets the heart rate up, and that's what we're aiming for. Ready? 2, 1. Last round. I'm going to come back to stepping, just showing how you can switch your form in between. That's going to help me talk you through the next exercise or shred movement. And 3, 2, 1. Okay, I'm going to turn it back around because this is where I would be. We're going to turn that front foot forward, back heel's going to come out, and again, transitioning, opening up into a nice warrior moment there. Cartwheel it up and over. And then from here, step up to the top of the mat. Find a little halfway lift. Maybe the fingertips are high, maybe they're low. The lower they are, the bigger the stretch on the hamstring. The higher, we're working on strength. So it's up to you. Bend the knees, come into a chair shape and squeeze, draw those fists to the hips and shake it out. We have one final shred move for you here. As you can tell, I'm a little bit out of breath too. We're going to come into 4 rounds of yoga shred burpees. They are not a traditional burpee. Please do not panic. And if you do like burpees, these are not going to be burpees like you know them. We're going to start off in our chair. So we start and finish here. This is what it looks like. Palms come down. First round, just step it back, step it forward, come up, squeeze up onto the balls of those feet, just like that. You might, when you get to round 2, come down, hop back, hop forward, up, squeeze, or even take a little hop. I want you to work with what you want to do, with what feels right. You try something, do something different the next time. Never be afraid to dial it back. I know it's the last 4 rounds. This is the all-out core, so we're working not just the low body, but the shoulders, the core, and everything else. So here we go. 3, 2, 1. Plant the hands, step back, step forwards. And we can see how many we can squeeze in to that 20 seconds. Not as many as you think. And one more. And rest it out. Maybe you could take one leg over, a little bit of a stretch. You're working those legs pretty hard today. Okay, next round. And into your chair. Nearly started a somersault then. Take it back. I'm going to hop a bit up and back, landing with bent knees every time. You see, I'm naturally wanting to take a little hop at the top of my mat, but I am restricting myself so I can speak because this is not my workout today. Last one. 3, 2, 1, and release. And again, do something that feels good for you in your body. Release the ankles, have a shake, have a dance if you've got some music on. And get ready for the next round. Okay, I'm stepping. You might want to alternate. And this time maybe you hop at the top. It just goes to show you that whatever kind of week you're having, you can still do the workout, but you can modify how you do it, what you do, how quickly you do it, and so on. And there we go. One last break. One last round. This is the, with form, give it all you got round because it's your last one. So set yourself up. 3, 2, 1. Come down. And these are your yoga shred burpees. Energy gold. And 3, 2, and 1. And we are yoga burpee done. Okay, we're gonna roll down and wind down with a slow flow sun cell. So draw the arms up, fold it forward, and find your juicy spots. Step it back. Or your forward plank. Drop the knees, soften the elbows, release. Cobra back into your downward facing dog. Take a breath. Blow it all out. Step up underneath the hips. Just take the feet a little bit wide and come down into a little bit of a malasana. You can find some stillness after all of that movement, or you can maybe just keep it moving a little bit. And then find your way on to your bottom on the mat and roll it down. We're going to come into a little bit of a twist just to finish off here today, to wrap things up. I'm going to cross my legs. You don't have to. You can stack them. You can double wrap them. Your choice. But we're going to lift the hips away from the knees and allow the knees to roll down. Up to you if you stretch your arms out or you cactus them. Just turn your head in the opposite direction. You might just play with drawing the knees up a little bit more. That's up to you. And just work on finding a little bit more rhythm with the breath after all of that exertion. Maybe taking this moment to make the exhales a little bit longer. And then draw the head back to center. Maybe draw the arms to center too. As you just lift the knees, roll them back to center as well. Lift the hips, so just reframe. And cross the legs over the opposite way. Just scoot the bottom away from the knees. Cactus the arms. And then turn your head in the opposite direction. Find the stretch sensation that works for you. Nice juicy little twist after all of that core work. All of that work in the hips. All of that energy. Again, come back to center, the head, the arms, the hips. And then take any kind of stretch that you want to before coming into, you might want to check you are at center, and like me, it was a bit wonky, into a relaxation space or shavasana space just for a minute here. It doesn't matter if it's morning or evening for you. We're just taking that minute to center the body, center the mind after the exertion and just kind of let it percolate through.
so that you can connect into the body. Maybe what it might be telling you right now is hopefully you just boosted your energy, kind of tired yourself out in a good way. And now you're just letting it digest and do what it needs to do. But that also gives us a stepping stone moment before we move into whatever we're doing next to come back down fully. And the more we take these little moments, the better at them we get. And actually the quicker it takes to get to that point in our bodies as well. Now you can absolutely lie here for as long as you like, but if like me, you have things to do, you can just give the body a little bit of a shake, come over onto your side maybe, and come back into a seat of choice. Just lost my microphone a little bit there. Hopefully it wasn't too disruptive. I hope you enjoyed the yoga shred and all of that juicy warmth and energy for a little bit of a boost as we kind of come through this cold, cold month of February. Take care, and I will see you soon.